This is Math 8, Section 4.3. We're going to be writing linear equations. So first of all, we're going to learn to write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form, which we talked about last time. So in sloped-intercept form, this is the equation. Y equals mx plus b. So remember, m is the slope, and b is going to be the y-intercept. So if we're given an equation, we can convert it to this form where it's y equals mx plus b, and then we'll automatically know slope and y-intercept. So if we're given the equation, like in example 7, that says y plus 2x minus 6 equals 0, we want to put it into this form. So let's subtract 2x from this side and add 6 to this side, because we want y all by itself. So therefore, to the other side, we also have to subtract 2x and add 6. These cancel. That leaves us with y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. And is that in our form? Yes. So m is going to be equal to negative 2, and b is going to be equal to 6, and this is in slope-intercept form already. Try that on guided practice 1 through 6. Let's do now example 8. So using the given slope and y-intercept of a line, write the equation. So now we're going to be given slope, and slope here is 1/4. Remember, m just represents slope. And then the y-intercept is represented by b, which here is equal to 3. So we have this equation here. All we have to do is put these into there. So we could say y equals 1/4 x plus 3, and that is the equation in slope-intercept form. Pretty easy. b, m is equal to negative 2, b is equal to negative 5. Therefore, slope-intercept form, y is going to be equal to the slope of negative 2, x plus negative 5. We can actually make plus a negative just written as negative 2x minus 5. And that's the answer. Try that on guided practice 7 and 8. Next thing we're going to do is equations of parallel lines. So if the lines are parallel, you're going to see something interesting happen. So for example, you have a line like this and a line like that. Okay? They're parallel, they go the same all the way up. Therefore, we could say that their slopes are equal. So if the slope of this one is m equals 2/3, and the slope of this one is m equals 2/3, we know that they're parallel. So these two lines are parallel. And we can also figure out the whole equation of each line because we know the y-intercept. So if this intercepts y at 1, this intercepts y at negative 1, we can write both of the equations. So for the top line, it's going to be y equals 2/3 x plus 1, and the equation for the bottom line is going to be y equals 2/3 x minus 1. So you can see the lines are parallel, but they have different y-intercepts. Let's try this on an example. The equation of a line is 2y equals 6 minus 3x. We could translate that to write it in sloped-intercept form. by dividing each thing by 2 so that those cancel, dividing that by 2, and that's going to give us y equals 3 minus 3/2 x. If we want to put that in slope-intercept form after that, we say that y is equal to negative 3/2 x plus 3. And that gives us our slope-intercept form. So now we can, we have our slope-intercept form. The question is, write the equation of the line parallel to this line that has a slope-intercept of 6. So this one has b equals 3. But if we want one that has b equals 6, all we have to do is switch out the numbers. So y is going to be equal to negative 3/2 x plus 6. And these two lines here are different lines, but parallel, because they have the same slope. So that is all you have to do for that. Try that on guided practice 9. Next thing we're going to learn how to do is when you are given a slope and a point, you can figure out also the equation. So slope plus point. For example, you're given this line here, okay? And they say, and we say, all right, we have 2, 3 as a point, and the slope is m equals 2/5. I did not draw this at all like the picture. The line's more like that. There we go. Cross that one up. Okay, so we're given these two things. So based on the equation here, we have a point, so we have a y and an x. We're also given m, so we have that one. The only thing we don't have is b. So to find the slope-intercept form, we just have to find b. So step 1, we're going to put everything we know into the equation. So we know y is 3. That's going to equal the slope times x, which is 2, plus b. So now we just have to find b. We have to multiply these out, so 3 equals 4/5 plus b. If we multiply everything, or if we subtract 4/5 from both sides, oops, minus 4/5, do minus 4/5 on both sides, these cancel. We get b is equal to 3 plus 4/5, which is 11/5, or 3 minus 4/5 is 11/5. So that's simplified. We know b, so now we can put that back into the original equation. Y equals 2/5, because we know m, x plus b. And this is, well, we know b now. It's 11/5. And this is our slope-intercept form equation. So example 10 is doing the same thing, and what you have to do is write the equation. So we know that the m equals -5, and we have the point 1, -8. So all we do is put this into our equation of y equals mx plus b. Y is -8, m is -5, x is 1. We don't know b yet. -8 equals -5 plus b. We add 5 to both sides. These cancel. We get b is equal to -8 plus 5, which is -3. So now we know b. We can put it back into the original equation. which is y equals mx plus b. Y equals negative 5x, and b is negative 3. We could change that to negative 5x minus 3, and that is slope-intercept form. Try this on guided practice 10, 11, and 12. Now we're given a point, and we're going to find a parallel line. And we're going to make an equation for that parallel line, given the point. Well, you're given the point, and you're given the equation. So we're going to turn a point and an equation into a parallel line. Now, here's how we do it. We are given the equation already, y equals to 3/4 x plus 1. And on a graph here, this could be representative of that line. This line is y equals 3/4 x plus 1. Okay? Now we're told we want you to find a line that's parallel to it that passes through the point 2, 3. Okay? So it's a little bit different than what we did before, but first we don't know b for the other equation. The equation we're trying to find for this line, we know that m is going to equal 3/4 because it's equal to this m, but b is what we don't know. So similar to what we did before, all we have to do is plug in this and this into the equation to get b. So y equals mx plus b. Y is going to be 3. M is going to be 3/4. X is going to be 2 plus b. 3 equals 6/4 plus b. We're going to subtract 6/4, which is also 3/2 from both sides. These cancel. That becomes b. 3 minus 3/2 is 3/2. Same thing, because this is 1.5. 3/2, so now we know b. We can put that into this equation for this line. So this line's equation is y equals 3/4 x plus 3/2. And that's the answer. Let's try another example. Example 11. A line passes through the point 1/4, 8. It's parallel to y equals 2 minus 4x. So let's put this in slope-intercept form, negative 4x plus 2. So we know for this point, m is going to be equal to negative 4. Slope b is going to be, the y-intercept is going to be different. So let's plug all this into equation, y equals mx plus b. 8 equals negative 4 1/4 plus b. So therefore 8 equals negative 1 plus b. If we add 1 to both sides, those cancel. It becomes b is equal to 9. So now we know b. We can put it back into that original equation. It becomes y equals, y equals negative 4x plus 9. And that is the answer to that problem. Try that on guided practice 13. Okay, last thing we're going to learn in this video is to write an equation of a line given 2 points going to an equation. So if the question asks you, if the question gives you 2 points and it asks you for the equation, you know that you have to use this method here. So the 2 points that we have are 1, 3, and 2, negative 4. So how are we going to do this? First, we're going to use the slope formula to find slope. So number 1, find slope. Remember, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if this is x1, y1, x2, y2, y2, negative 4, minus y1, 3, x2 is 2, minus x1 is 1, equals negative 7 over 1, which is equal to negative 7. So m, our slope, is negative 7. Now, once we have slope, we have m, we have 2 points. So we could do it using either point, actually. So number 2, you're going to find y-intercept. So one way you can do it, and 2 ways you can do it. You can use either one of these points. So the first time I'm going to use this point. Use either point. So if we're using this point and adding in this one, our y equals mx plus b. So y in that point is 3 equals the slope, which we found to be negative 7, x, which in this point is 1, plus b. And if I move around this equation, it becomes b is equal to 7 plus 3, which is 10. So then in y-intercept form, we get y equals negative 7, x plus 10. We can do it the same thing using this point. So if I have this equation, y equals mx plus b, I can input these values. Negative 4 is equal to negative 7, input 2, plus b. That becomes negative 4 equals negative 14 plus b. Okay, going to translate this down. It becomes b equals negative 4 plus 14, which is equal to 10. So notice the 10s are the same, so when I put it into my slope-intercept form, it's the same thing as up here. So you can use either point. So this one or that one. Try that on guided practice 14, and that's it. Just 14. By the way, this was example 12.